Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9 Death Clues. We are going to have some fun tonight because it is National Tequila Day and we're going to get this thing kicked off. This is not what we're going to talk about tonight, but last night I did a little bit of a preview and it was pretty deep conversation. This is not to cast shade on any other group that's out there because a lot of us are doing this, right? I've been doing this for 3 years. You guys have been here. But I did want to bring up some of the theories that were not so much theories. And I have them. We have them. All of you in here have them. It's not to pick on Screen Crush and comicbook.com. We're all fans. But the next time someone wants to pick on a 999 theory, I just want to remind everyone that Screen Crush said that Nick was part of the Whisperers. Wrong. And comicbook.com said that Jadis would be the next Alpha. Wrong. So I'm not going to leave this up there, but we all make mistakes, and I think it'd be fun if you guys want to do a stream sometime of just some of the bad theories that we've done and everyone's done over the last couple years. I think that would be just a lot of fun to get in there and kind of mess around with it. All right, enough bashing. I do want to give a super special shout out to Valar with the super chat saying, hello 999 Army, Kill Steph, Emmy Kells, Bree, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, and Patreons, and of course, all the super chatters. And also, we've not updated the billboard up on the top left corner, but we have a brand new Patreon supporter supporting the 999 channel, and that is Sammy. Thank you so much, Sammy. Appreciate you being involved with what it is that we do every night. Sometimes a little bit different. Sometimes a theory. Sometimes it is a hidden clue. Sometimes it is a spoiler, and you just never know which direction we're going to go. So we're going to talk about some death clues. Some are really obvious. Some we're going to have to kind of speculate and mess around a little bit. Keep in mind, they won't be 100% accurate. That's right. Deborah Mooney, Madison. Sometime this week, I think we will just do a bad theory video. And just, we will have to have some 999 bad theories in there as well. But turnabout is fair play. I just don't want to pick on a bunch of other sites that's out there. I'll probably just take some websites and some information, and we will mix some of our information. That way, they're not all pissed off and think that we're just kind of making them look bad. It's just all in fun. Sometimes you got to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at those 3 people that hit the dislike button before the video started. How can you dislike me when you haven't even heard me yet? What is wrong with these people? All right, let's get to the death clues and the theories. This season is going to be all out of whack. I don't know what to tell you guys, except the Carl death is interfering with the Whisper storyline. It's interfering with the Lydia relationship. It's interfering with Lydia being over, I guess, kind of thought to be held hostage. And then Maggie's men, Dante and Ken, and then the standoff between Alpha and Maggie. So I have not read this, but I've done a little bit of research, but it is not going to follow the comic book path. I mean, it can at this point, but there could still be a person. Maybe there's not a Lydia. Maybe Alpha has a son or something. I mean, there could be a kid involved one way or another, but the bridge could infringe on the Whisperers' territory, what they perceive as their territory. And apparently, the Whisperers do take people hostage and do release them because they released Dante and Ken unharmed. So that still would give way to the possibility that Rick could be taken hostage and other people could be. I mean, there are going to be some decapitations, I think, but there's also some other people who could kind of be stowed away. Matthew Levinson, what do you think about Aiden taking over Carl's storyline? Maybe. I mean, maybe Aiden finds a relationship with a older version of Alpha's daughter. I mean, yeah. I mean, there could be some semblance to the comic, but at this point, we can't even reference the comic because it's going to be it's totally different at this point. Mark Jacobs says, what if Alpha has a son and Enid? I really, really like that. Sorry, I like that better than the Aiden theory. What do you guys think about that before we get in this video? Enid and a son of Alpha. I like that. Could keep a little bit of the comic story going. If you guys like that, just leave your comment. All right, I'm going to get into some of the... It is, right? I think a few people like that. So we know that somewhere along the lines, we've got Eugene and Rosita here. So I'm going to ask the group for your involvement. Rosita death possibility. Let me know if you think Rosita dies, Eugene dies, both die, neither die. I had a prediction in a video a couple days ago, but could this be where it all gets started? Got some people saying anything is possible. Hey, we started out with those theories from Screen Crush and comicbook.com. So here's a kill shot theory. I think Dwight is going to save him in this instance. But I could see Rosita dying. I really could. Dawn of the Frank says Rosita is a strong contender for the Spike. Some people like that. Some people like my Dwighty boy theory. But I may be super, super wrong. And Rosita... question for the group. I don't know the answer, which is why I'm asking the 999 Army. Asking all of you. Who was the first person to die in the comic? Was it Ezekiel, Rosita, or was it Heath? Who got decapitated first? And Heath is gone. All right. Wow, we're all over the place with this one. So I know we said that we could have a different story. However, let's talk about death clues. Rosita is in play. She's right here. The whispers are walking by. So I'm going to say from a 1 to a 10, it's about a 7. There's still a possibility Rosita could go. We're going to talk about some other people and some things and how they might shape out as we get through this video. So this is what I think could be a death clue. This is stronger speculation because we don't know. This is from the Comic-Con teaser. There's a lot of things that could be going down here. Now let me say, we see early on in the Comic-Con teaser, Carol getting a little cuddly with the king. And in this particular scene, we've got what looks to be Carol consoling Daryl. But is it a possibility that the king is gone? So we got Rosita covered in mud. Rosita could... I'm going to go through the people that could be on spikes, and if it could hold true to the comic book, even though the storyline might be different. So Heath is gone. So very strong possibility. I'd give Heath a 10 out of 10 as far as being on a pike, on a stake somewhere. Rosita, I'm giving a 7. But the fact that we see Daryl and Carol here, as opposed to Ezekiel that we saw earlier, could give the possibility. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it's going to happen this way. I'm just saying I think it is a death clue. Could be. Laura Brown said it could be Daryl because Maggie's dead. Absolutely. It could be Carol consoling Daryl. It could also be Rick got captured And Daryl saw it, and Daryl's upset because Rick is gone. And Jason, you are correct. That bridge scene, no Ezekiel, and Carol is running to fight. Jason, I also think there is no Rosita, and Eugene is running to fight. So, and I'm not sure that there's a Maggie. I know there's a person. It could be Jadis. It could be Maggie. It could be someone else. I'm not positive that that's Maggie. But I didn't see Rosita, and I didn't see Ezekiel on that bridge scene. And the Maggie thing is questionable. So it is interesting, and Maggie we'll just put to the side here. But in something that looks like a epic showdown, those two you would think would be there. But hold that thought. Let's we're going to get back to that. Here is the bridge scene that has been discussed. And I never seem to have it at the right place for the things that I want to talk about. So we have Jerry up front. We got Eugene up front. A couple seconds later, the first person that kind of goes over where Rick's shoulder is, not the back of his arm, because the back of his arm over on that side might be Tara or someone else. But the first person that shows up really where his shoulder is, I think that could be Maggie, might not be Maggie. I'm not sure. I would not bet on it either way. Michonne is running down the center, so Michonne's still in play. But if a Whisperer scene went down here, really? I can't believe people still do that. I'm in the middle of a live stream, and this person pops in a live stream and asks people to subscribe to them, and they will subscribe back to them. I didn't realize that was still happening. Please don't do that. We're in the middle of a deep analysis of The Walking Dead. That would be the equivalent to the person who just did that of walking in church on a Sunday morning and saying, "Hey, does anybody want to buy my used car for $500? Let that sink in for a second. Just for a second. All right. I think I made my point. All right, moving on to Sergeant Chosen One from the 999 Army. Says, Heath, Sherry, Maggie, Ezekiel, and Rosita heads on pikes. All right, we're going to make this our Super Chat Spotlight. Heath, Sherry, Maggie, Ezekiel, and Rosita. 5. I'm okay with all 5 of those. For different reasons. Not because I would like for all of them to die, but I think you're on the money here. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or you have someone else on there. So Heath has been missing for a while. Understandable. Sherry is gone. And Dwight may find Sherry. So there's 2. Ezekiel and Rosita, we don't see him running across the bridge. And this might be one of the biggest fight scenes to go down. And Maggie, well, just because it would be epic. Just for Maggie to go out that way. But as far as I know, Tara is one of the first ones to on behind Rick. So Tara is still alive at this point. I know Pete D is not going to like that, but Pete, that's the reality. All right, we're going to go back to the bridge scene in a little bit, but we got some more clues that we need to talk about. All right, once again, this is not a direct death clue, but it's relevant. Is Jadis looking for a way out? And I've heard this as a theory. Or is she calling for help because someone is in really, really bad shape? I know that's a stretch. And we don't know. I mean, it's just, we're guessing. But I just want to know your thoughts on this scene. And I'm sorry. I know she's Anne, but it's just, it's hard to get rid of the cool Jadis name. Hold on. Ah, boom. Dawn of the Frank. I'm going to go back to Dawn of the Frank here. Is it possible that Rick is in bad shape and they evacuate Rick and we don't see him for a while? And that's Rick's open-ended story. You guys know me. I still think he's going to pack up and he's going to leave. But this would be a possibility, right? Rick's injured. The helicopter comes in, takes Rick away. Wouldn't that be like the ultimate tribute to MASH? You got like the tent set up, and you got the arrows, and you got Toledo, and then you got Jadis radio in, and then in the end you hear dun 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 dun. Is that the theme song? You know what? I'm gonna get a copyright infringement for, like, if that was authentic, they will they'll make me do a revenue share with the people that just wrote the MASH theme song. All right, hey, just a possibility. This is why we're calling it Death Clues, everybody. Just to have, a little bit of fun with the trailer. All right, let's take a look at the next pick. Oh, boy. It's about to be pee-pee pants city here real soon. So, I've heard people say that someone might be trying to burn Negan up in a cell. What do you think about this? Daryl did have a can of gasoline. In fact, Maggie and Daryl both were walking down the road. Maggie had a walkie-talkie in her hand, and Daryl was carrying gasoline. Did Daryl pour the gasoline to Negan's cell and light him on fire? Or try to light him on fire? And now they're going to have to evacuate him. Thoughts? I got a super chat. So I'm going to call on Corporal Epic 999 Army, burning the crops at the sanctuary to starve them. Or burning the crops at the sanctuary. Let me know what you think about this. I'm going to give you a couple options. I do think Daryl and Maggie are up to some sinister activity. So I'm going to ask the group right now. Let's say it's Daryl. Daryl is the only one carrying a can of gas. Burning the crops at the sanctuary or trying to burn Negan? I'm going to go, honestly, I'm going to backtrack on what I just said. Epic, I agree with you. I think they're burning the crops. I think they're trying to starve them. Ooh, Chosen One says Daryl burning the cell, Maggie burning the crops. Cub Blue says lighting a fire to lure the walkers. And Peggy, there are boots, I think, in the next scene. Steph, Lucille's already been burned. Lucille was caught on fire when Rick and Negan had the fight in the basement. After they had the car chase scene. Lucille was dipped in blood, and then I don't know. I don't know how many times Lucille's going to get burned. Someone is near backing away. From the small clip of this, it does look like someone is laying there. And yeah, someone poured some gasoline in there. That's going to be pretty intense. And it's spreading fast. And that's right, E-Beach. I mean, Daryl with the garbage truck. Who can forget that? All right. Just kind of food for thought. Or if the crops are burned down, I guess there is no food. See what I did there? All right. I know she just got on the show. But there is speculation that Cindy's going to die this season. That she's not going to be a permanent part of the show. Don't know if it's going to happen here. But is Cindy set to become a show regular? But I have heard a lot of speculation that she won't make it through the end of the season. Okay. Letro Phoenix says I could care less about her. Not everybody's attached to new characters. I get it. All right. So, just another clue. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay. Once again, no smoking gun in the scene. But Jerry is holding a gun, so maybe the gun is about to be smoking. Got a tent set up. This could be a harmless good morning, like, hey, Nabila, I have to go. You know, something like that. Or is Jerry drawing his weapon? Because something's happening in the scene. Could this be something going down with Ezekiel? Doesn't have the axe. I mean, he's got the axe on his back, but he's got the gun in his hand. So my question is, why is it drawn? The dude with Carol, that happens at night. Now, this could be where Daryl's beating the guy with a pot. It's very possible. It's a strong possibility. I'm just reading through some of the comments. I can read them. I can't read them all out loud, just so you know, because some are not appropriate. Some of you have some real interesting senses of humor. All right. Just could be a death clue. All right. This is not related to that scene. This is the new Polaroid guy. This is the guy that we're going to hate. This is the guy that's fighting Aaron. This is the guy that draws the weapon on Carol. And this is the guy that puts the knife to Carol's neck. And if there is a scene, could Carol die? I know nobody wants Carol to die. Shannon says, bad move, Polaroid guy 2.0. Don't you feel like Daryl's going to put an arrow in this guy's head? Coma Drug says, Carol's going to kick this guy's ass. But here's what I want to say. Carol looks very, very vulnerable in this situation. I know a lot of times, you can twist and spin and do these things. This, to me, looks like a very serious scene. And we've already seen this guy in multiple scenes get close. He's fighting Aaron. He gets close. He pulls the gun. He gets close. This scene scares me. It scares me a lot. Not only does it scare me for Carol, but it scares me that Carol might have actually been out there with someone else, and this guy is it's pretty evil. Westwood Chronic says Undercover Whisper. I've talked about that I would have no problem. I know the comic book fans don't like that idea and said they won't infiltrate. I wouldn't be surprised in today's day and age if that really confused us. And there were a couple on the inside. Jeffrey Morrow says, if saviors need to go back, Rick was a fool. Just another death clue, but this scene does scare me. Not just for Carol, but what could happen or has already happened to someone else. All right. The next one is certainly obvious. You could say that Maggie is taking her frustration out on a walker. But I do want to raise this as a possibility. Apparently, in the comic, there were some territorial issues where our group probably expanded into some Whisper territory. I mean, we don't know who owns what at this point. I got a strong feeling that Maggie might be killing the wrong person. She definitely is in beast mode, but what if she discovers the Whispers? Now, whoever she's hitting is not going to survive a beatdown like this with a crowbar. But this is one of the stronger death clues because we know someone's dying here. All right. Another death clue. And this is the hardest scene, I think, to piece together. This is Daryl after he runs across the bridge and runs past Rick. So we see the gloves that Daryl had. He was working on the bridge, and then he runs past. And I'm going to go back to the very first slide I showed with Screen Crush and comicbook.com. This is where we're going to have a whole lot of predictions, and a whole lot of our predictions are going to be wrong. Somebody might get it, but a whole lot of us are going to be wrong. But have some fun with it. So what I still have the problem with is, yes, the bridge could be expanding into territory where they shouldn't be expanding into. They're not just sneaking around anymore. They're like a construction crew that is there building that bridge. So in the past, you know how they kind of went from point A to point B, and maybe somebody saw them, maybe something didn't? They've set up shop here. So the Whisperers perhaps could have had plenty of time to watch what they're doing. And to not like it. And to not like them. So Rick in that scene, I am going to go back to the speed at which they all run past and start fighting. I don't feel like Rick is in immediate danger. I could be wrong. Some of you guys that have said Rick is stabbed and he's there and he's kneeling, you could be right. This, to me, though, looks like an ambush. When Rick is down there, I would be more willing to bet Rick might be sawing one of those boards in half. He might be on one knee. He might be doing something. And then they just start coming out of the woods. And they just come, this herd starts to come out. Maybe it is some Whisperers that are there. But the group sees it. And at this point, it's like, forget the construction, we got to run fight. And it could be after they already know that there's some danger out there. And life is just going on. So, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. However, this is where right after Daryl runs past Rick full speed and pulls both weapons out and does some really, really neat killing. Now, is he killing walkers? Is he killing some humans? Is he killing a combination of the two? I'm anxious to see how the Whisperers are going to fight. Because I think a lot of times, and I'll get to the super chat in a second, a lot of what the dynamic is going to be when they run into the Whisperers is going to be thinking, okay, I can stab this slow-moving walker. Whoa, hold on. This is not a slow-moving walker. So I think there's going to be some death mixed in with that, and there's going to be some people losing because they underestimate what they're fighting because they think it's a slow-moving walker and it's really a person that's ready to attack you back. Leave your thoughts to that. Servant Chris says, maybe what Rick is looking at is a head when he's down on a knee. Let's talk about that for a second. Is it possible that Rick is standing at one point and someone throws a head over there as they come out of the woods? And Rick is down looking at it, and then the group attacks. Is that a possibility? Freak wants to know, kills, do any of your theories come true? Yes, a lot of them do. Like April of last year, when it was correctly predicted by yours truly that Abraham the Orange Crush would be the first person that died via Negan. There's others. The Simon death, but Freak, keep in mind, there's a lot of things we're wrong about. Rick must have gotten hit. He's clearly holding his side. Matthew, I don't see it. I don't see him holding his side. I don't see enough to validate that. I mean, I see his arm down there, and I really want to see it, and I want to understand it. But it's like the same thing. It's like me seeing Jerry with a gun and saying, well, Jerry's getting ready to shoot Negan in the head. Well, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I see his arm bent over a little bit. You could certainly speculate that he's been... But here, let me give you kind of a real quick idea of what we're dealing with that scene. So I'm going to ask everyone here in the 999 Army, okay? 300 people in the stream right now. So I want to kind of prove my point, Matthew. Check this out. All right. Everybody answer this question. When Rick is kneeling, has Rick just been in a fight? Is he working on the bridge? Was he stabbed by a whisper? Is he looking at someone's head? Leave your thoughts and comments right now. What did you see from that scene? Rick Grimes says stabbed. However, there's no validation to see that he was stabbed because you can't see it. Sergeant Chosen One says looking at Maggie's head. Prom says stabbed. Chasing the Sun says stabbed. Julie says looking for something. Lisa says working on the bridge. Fluff says someone's body. So here's the point. It doesn't show it. And they intentionally didn't show it because if they showed it, we would know. They show us just enough so we've got 5 or 6 different answers. And Matthew and Chasing the Sun, to you guys, when you see it more clearly. But if someone else has a different theory and it's a little bit vague, they see it a little bit different. Buffy, it is absolutely not visible. It's not visible to 75% of the people in the stream because 75% of the people in the stream are saying it's something besides him being stabbed. And believe me, Buffy, if I saw it, I would be the first person on here to say, oh my God, he's stabbed. Look at that stab wound. I don't have enough there. It's kind of like Rick walking on the cement or the dust or the pebbles and the blood's dripping down. I can't tell you if he's holding a child. I can't tell you if he's holding someone's head. I can't tell you if he was stabbed. I can't tell you if his arm was... I'm not doing it. Anna Hume says stabbed by a whisper. So, Anna, I got to know, in all the trailer, at what point did you see him stabbed by a whisper? Because in 150 times watching it, I've never seen him stabbed by a whisper. And if you were to say that Rick were stabbed, Daryl's got a lot of knives, and him and Daryl go to this remote location, but to me, that doesn't make sense. The stumbling doesn't make sense. Him getting down on one knee doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the way that person was walking and stumbling did not look like the same Rick that kind of turned around and looked up in that scene. But that's to me. Everybody's going to see something. Exactly. Chasing the Sun. And that's kind of the point. It's a theory based on the state. They're not going to show things like that in the trailer. I agree with you. But there are people that are saying, no, I see it. He's stabbed. There's a stab wound there, and I don't see that. No proof. All right. So, let me go back to something we talked about. He slipped on a banana peel. There you go, Paul. This scene confuses me quite a bit. I think it's a very important scene, but not related to the other scene. And we talked about how it was it could be congruent, but it's not. Some people definitely pointed out in last night's stream, Daryl's not wearing the work gloves. And Ezekiel is in this scene. And Tommy, you could be right. But let me get to the super chat. Because we got Corporal Epic Army says, Rick sees PPP written in the dirt. The Whispers are pretty primitive. So I'm once again going to say the PPP is not related to them. I can't make it make sense. That is Jesus behind Rick. And this might be, Tommy, you had talked about this. This might be where they first noticed the bridge has been destroyed. Is if they were walking from, behind them, and they came this way and they killed all the walkers that were coming out of the woodwork. And this might be where they all look up and notice that the bridge has been blown up, destroyed. I'm okay with that. Or is it later on and Ezekiel is still alive and we just didn't see him in that scene running across the bridge? All right. Got a couple more pictures here. We've posted this picture in several of the videos. And I will say that there are a lot more wooded scenes, whereas before we saw just the hilltop, we saw the sanctuary, we saw Alexandria. That scares me that they're spending so much time in these wooded areas, because I do think that the Whisperers might feel like they're taking over. Now, this could be, we can start with the mild and work it all the way up to the wild. Exactly, Freak. This could be Carl's grave. That was the mild. That to me would be like, okay, Enid's upset. She's visiting Carl's grave. Or it could be something a little bit more severe. Got another super chat. So, Corporal Epic Army says, I heard someone say they think someone brings up Carl and Enid gets emotional in the scene. Epic, I would say it's probably more likely to be a grave or something to do with Maggie. But, we just don't have enough. But it is important that it's Enid. And it'd have to be something to do with Carl, something to do with Maggie. And I think we want to go with the wild theory, the Maggie body. But anytime you talk about the potential for Maggie dying, people are going to bring up what was said at Comic-Con about Maggie's story could still be open-ended. Certainly, Lakeisha. Definitely has some value to it. All right, we're going to go back to the bridge scene, if we can find it. Just bear with me, everybody. We're going to scroll around a little bit until I'm making everybody seasick. They're like, what is going on here, Kills? I know we have the slide here somewhere. This is what happens when you do live television. So there's only one way to do this. There we go. All right, we got it. Back to the bridge scene. I'm going to just read a couple comments. We're still here, everybody. Right, Marcus? I just wanted to scroll through a couple slides for you guys. Shannon, I am not giving up on that theory at all. I think Rick and Michonne and Judy leave. I really do. I think that's the best possible situation for the fans. So Matt says Rick looks a little bit weak. A little sweaty. That's for sure. Every time I look at this scene and I watch the scene over and over again, I've watched it to see what order they're running across the bridge. Vincent, he sees trouble, and you're right, Servant Chris, no evidence. But here's the question that I have for all of those that say Rick is injured. Why is no one stopping to help him? I mean, they clearly see the walkers on the other side of the bridge. Carol's not running to Rick. Daryl's not running to Rick. Eugene's not running to Rick. Jerry's not running to Rick. Not one of those people are running to help him. They're running full speed past him. And at the speed they're running, it does not appear that there's something right beside him. And if there was, wouldn't two people go over and pick him up? It's not just that he's hurt. If he were hurt, it's not just he's kneeling. The real telltale sign to me is that once they get across this bridge, that's where Daryl starts taking out the walkers. Because we see Daryl run by with the gloves and a knife in each hand, and then we see the next scene is Daryl stabbing 2 of them in the head. Which is why I don't think he's hurt, and I don't think he's stabbed. I just feel like it absolutely could be a tsunami of walkers, but he's still Rick Grimes. And if Rick Grimes is hurt, someone's going to get Rick. Boys with the Camera says finding out about the whispers. Villar says it's someone in their group who's important. They see Rick is okay. Do we think that Sadiq might be going to help Rick? I would just think at a minimum, Jerry would run over and throw Rick on his shoulder and get him to safety. Get him to the other side of the bridge. I missed a couple of comments. Kel, Steph, few people are saying that he killed a whisperer thinking it was a walker. First time we've seen the proof that it's a person. Possibility. Daryl Dixon fan says if Rick was injured, his face would have a different expression. And I'm not trying to necessarily talk the people out of whether or not Rick could be hurt. He could be hurt. But if he is, he's dealing with the pain very well. And if he is, no one seems to be worried about him as much as the threat on the other side. Daryl does make a little bit of eye contact with him as he's running by. But it doesn't look like he's saying, "You okay? I'm going to kill that son of a bitch." No, I mean, Daryl's just like in beast mode. Just, going to stab stuff. Carol's not even paying attention to Rick. Carol's running full speed ahead. Jerry, full speed ahead. Not like, oh my God, Rick's been injured. Let's get him back to safety and then let's deal with this. It looks as if Rick saw it coming and is like, and then bam, they're there to help him out. And they're ready to fight. So I got a feeling that they're running by, Rick's going to spring up and get in the fray. Or, Matthew. Now, that's something I can wrap my theory around. Matthew says maybe he's sick to his stomach. So, maybe they do. Anytime, I'm struggling with this. Anytime we get to that point, maybe there is like a head in a bag. Or maybe they roll a head up. And Rick is down there kneeling looking at it. Right? I mean, would that not... I'm not saying it's all corny like a bowling ball, but I'm saying, what if Rick is there and Heath's head or Maggie's head or Rosita's head rolls up to his feet? I don't know. Freak, his face is dirty. Maybe he's been working on that bridge all day. But if he sees a severed, if Rosita's head comes rolling up, look, we don't have Rosita and Ezekiel in this scene. But, we could probably disprove that a little bit too. If Rosita's head comes rolling up, Eugene's probably not going to be doing what he's doing right now. I got a feeling maybe Rosita's dead at this point, and they know the threat is out there. So, yeah, a lot of things to analyze, but this is our death clue. So some really, really crazy stuff. I'm going to ask all you guys to do me a favor. We have an hour flies by like unbelievable hanging out with you guys every night. 350 people. Actually, I think by the time this video is posted, we probably had about 750, 800 people either pop in or pop out. The people are still here. You guys could all do me a favor. Please slap the like button if you have a good time. If you enjoy what we do, if you like hanging out with us, I love seeing all the interaction, calling on some people. Just to tell you a little bit about 999 Army, if you guys have a second. This is kind of our mission statement. Sometimes we're going to be right, sometimes we're going to be wrong, but our goal really is to get together every night, every couple nights, and talk about a show that we absolutely love. It is to enjoy, hang out, entertain, all of the above. It's not always about who's right, but that's the fun, right? Just kind of piecing it together and being able to go back and reference it when we are and when we aren't. So appreciate all of you guys being here. We have a tremendous group. The 999 Army is just an amazing group of people. If you guys want to hang out with us on Facebook, you can see The Walking Dead 999 Army. We've got a tremendous group of supporters of people who support this channel. You can see the Patreons up in the top left corner, the sponsors over in the top right corner. Those are the people that also have the green highlights and use some of the custom emojis. And of course, everybody else in the stream is, of course, the group that we make up. And you'll see us in Comic-Cons, you'll see us in Walker Stalkers. If you see somebody repping that 999 Army gear, make sure you go to them and say, what's up, and I definitely appreciate all of you. We're going to wind this thing down because we're at 57 minutes. We will do this again tomorrow night, so if you got nothing else on your schedule, would love to see everybody here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching the playback, this is the end of the video. This is the closing credits. If you're still here, if you type a 999, I will give you a shout out or try to give as many shout outs as possible. And if you're just someone that's not sure about whether you want to join our group or hang out with our group, take a look at how many 999s are streaming up and down at the end of this video, and you will see how awesome this group of people is. So I want to say what's up to Lou F., Gene Atkins, Maria Favada, and Jason, the mixologist daily, super chatting when we're doing the shout outs at the end. So Jason says, kills maybe the whispers from the other side of the bridge through a bag with a head in it. Rick discovers it, pulls it out, and the group heads for the other side, in particular Jerry. Jason, I think that's as good as anything that we've heard at this point. Something related to Rick, but there's 3 reasons why Rick would be kneeling down. 1, he's working on something. Number 2, he is injured. Or number 3, he discovered something on the ground. And I'm going to stay with number 3, he discovered something on the ground, and until it's proven otherwise, because that does stay in line with some of the other things. But I'm certainly open to discuss some of the other topics. Tomorrow night, we will break it down a little bit further. Do want to say what's up to Alicia James, the Cat Nat, Freak, North Carolina, what's up? Dustin Little, Jim Dew, Mock Studios, my moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kel, thank you for everything that you guys do. Wow, this guy is unbelievable. I'm so glad that there are buzzwords that you guys never see, Because I can't believe people still come in to live streams and make racist comments. Just blows my mind. All right. Well, we're winding down a stream, so I'm not going to, get bent over somebody's just kind of a loose cannon. Rob Morris, thank you so much for being here. Rosanna Jude. Don Machiavelli, what's up? Good to see you, and thank you so much, Daniel, a.k.a. Don Machiavelli, for that super chat. Appreciate your contribution and your participation in this channel. I'm Chasing the Sun. Thank you so much. I like the Rick injured theory. Chasing Sun. We're gonna battle. You and me and Matthew. We're gonna have some good debate between now and the time the season starts. But thank you so much. Appreciate your opinions. You guys are awesome. Cindy Propushitz, also Deborah Cox, Valar, Charplay, Dorothy Martin, Letro Phoenix, Mr. Daz, 1964 Cats, E Beach. Thank you so much. Daryl Dixon, fan number 1. Appreciate your comments. Julie McGuire as well. Gina Crockett. Gina, I sent you a kick message. Let me know. Let me know what's up with our world. We need one more superstar in the video game. Bumblebee Brown, thank you so much. Exotic, appreciate you being here. The bad guy says, listen to me, 999. Rick gets bitten by a walker. Maggie finishes him with the crowbar. Daryl stabs him. Sean comes and kills Maggie. Hey, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Bad guy. We're an hour and 1 minute. Eric Bennett, thank you so much, Eric. Samantha W., thank you. The Walking Dead figures and more. Corporal Epic 999 Army, always a pleasure. B loves 999 and The Walking Dead. Mark Jacob, Laura Nicole, thank you for being here. Kieran, Sinister One. Trying to figure out who I've shouted out, who I haven't. Germ, the Worm, Buffy Batcave, thank you so much. Appreciate your passion and your opinions as well. Joe Whale, thank you. Suh, dude. Thank you so much, Peggy Sullivan. Appreciate that super chat and appreciate the love for the 999 Army and the team and the channel and everything that we do here. Lisa Khaleesi, thank you so much. Whoa! What is going on? Lisa Khaleesi just got in. All right, now you got to watch the playback. Was missing your comments. Thank you so much, Wilson. Appreciate that, my man. Love to the 999 Army from Wilson at work. Wilson, why you work? Oh, Dustin, no. He sees Carl's skin on a whisper. No, don't even do that to me, Dustin. That would be too dark for television. They dug Carl up and used his face? No. Wow, I gotta think something positive. I can't end the stream on that note. Aaron Ann, thank you for being here. Shirley Cooper, thank you so much. Tanya Dockstader, good to see you. BK Harp, thank you. Judy Driver. Gee74, I know, yeah, look at the reaction. That's a rough reaction. What's up, Fluff? Thank you, man. You know, it took so much creativity for you to come up with a name called 999 Gaming Sucks. I am just in complete awe of your... Just really, man. What a child. Ah, boy. Stalker's gonna stalk. Create Till Death, thank you so much for being here. Rosanna Jude, Shane's face. Thank you, Howling Wolf. Appreciate you being here. Absolutely, Sergeant Chosen One. And a salute. Lisa, thank you for being here. KCF, thanks for being here. Bad Guy, we'll be live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Most nights, we take a night off every once in a while, but we, when in doubt, just check it out. And if you guys are part of the 999 Army on Facebook, we will post it on Facebook. Not telling you, if you're not on social media, don't go out and sign up for an account. But if you are and you want to join our group, then if the stream ever gets canceled, we will post it there a couple hours in advance. Dwayne Sharp, what's up? Charplay says, Rick takes the helicopter. Takes the chopper. All right, everybody, I'm going to wind this thing down. If I didn't get a chance to shout you out, once the video goes live, make sure you leave it in the comments below. And leave your comments. Let me know what you thought about this stream. And the people watching the playback, leave comments to the people who are leaving comments. And everybody still here, slap that like button, show a little bit of love to the Army. And I will see you all tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.